3, 2, 1. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Rosie's View. I know I haven't really done this in a really long time, and that's because I ran out of topics. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen me mention or have a post about how I'm going in a new direction for Rosie's View. One where you guys can just send me DMs on Twitter about questions you have about situations going on in your life, or just things you've always wanted to know, more specific questions instead of just broad topics. So that way I'll be able to actually have questions on a regular basis and things that I can actually record with. All of these questions are going to be anonymous, so I just figured why not come on a creative server. This is on MCPZ, Party Zone, whatever. And I'm just going to be working on a build that I've been working on for a while now. Not that long, actually. I've only spent like 2 days on this. Not entire days either. But, so I made the chat really, really small because that's always annoying on a multiplayer server. And you guys can see the blocks that I'm using, but here is what I've been working on. I'm trying to see about becoming builder on this server because I think that even though I know I'm not as good a builder as probably you'd need to be in order to get builder, I think it would be a good opportunity to kind of at least help my building skills. I don't think I'd be building anything alone, but I think it might help my build skills and let me be a better builder. So I hear that the build team on here is really, really picky though, but I know the leader of the build team, so I might just ask him for opinions and advice. So why is this door open? But I've been working on this for a while, and I just kind of want to work on it while I do this episode. So I've got this side that I'm still working on. I'm gonna make that a bit bigger, longer maybe. But over here, I've got a plan going that I know what I'm gonna do, so I'll just work on it. And so if you guys have submitted a question, you guys can also send me messages on YouTube if you don't have a Twitter, but you still want to ask a question for Rosie's View. You guys can always just message me on YouTube and I will include your question. And if you don't want it to be anonymous, then that works too, but like, I will try my best to answer the question. I won't definitely say that my advice would be the best, but I will try. So the first question we have, let me go back into my phone. Somebody asked me, they said, I need advice on loving yourself. So I have done a Rosie's View actually about this before. If you guys remember, I did a video about self-confidence, I think it was. And I don't exactly remember what I said in that video because I haven't seen it in a while. I did it a couple months ago, but I'm pretty sure the gist of it was that you just need to believe in yourself, and sometimes what really helps is just sitting down in front of your mirror and just pointing out what's flawed about yourself. You gotta recognize your flaws. Everybody has them and you just gotta recognize them. And then once you've done that, you need to just point out all the good things about yourself and find a way to love the flaws. It's not exactly going to be the easiest thing in the world, but if you find a way to love your flaws, then things will always be easier when it comes to loving yourself. So, in my experience, that's always how it works for me, for loving yourself. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, so I don't know. I will probably put that link in the description for that video because there's probably a lot more answers on that video than what I'm giving. But that's basically the gist of it. You just need to find a way to love yourself and I'm not answering this right. Okay. You need to just find a way to be confident and love your flaws, which I know isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it's something you need to do in order to love yourself, is accept your flaws. And if you don't believe you have any flaws, then there's an issue. And that's probably one of the reasons you're having trouble loving yourself, because you don't recognize those flaws. Why am I not picking it up? Okay. So, it's probably not best that I'm doing a circle on this, but okay. So, the next question I have is, how do I know that friends are actually true friends? Now, I struggle with this a lot, believe it or not. I have a lot of people that I wasn't sure if they were actually truly my friend or if they were just fake. So it took me a while to figure out if they were actually truly there for me. And really, I don't know how you can figure this out without having a huge issue to the friendship happen. But how do you... I'm trying to make sure I answer this well. Okay. How do you know people are true friends? Well, true friends wouldn't just toss you aside if they felt like you guys weren't talking anymore. True friends would understand that you've got things going on in your life, and they would sometimes just message you to see how you're doing and make sure everything's okay. And sometimes, if you understand your true friends, like for me, I am really, really bad at communication. I never know when to message somebody back. And so I end up with a lot of people thinking that I don't actually like them or that I just use them for things, which isn't true. It's just I'm not good at messaging people back. I'm really, really, really bad at communication. I don't like texting. I don't like messaging. I'm a face-to-face communication type of person. So a lot of people probably think I'm a fake friend, but when it comes down to it and things are rough in somebody's life, I will be there for them, and that's what really makes a true friend. When your parents are going through a divorce or something, or your grandmother just died or something like that, the people who will sit there and let you cry on their shoulder and not ask questions, not expect anything from you, those are the people that you know will be your true friend. And to be honest, whatever grade you're in, most of the people that you're friends with in high school or middle school or all that stuff will not stay your friends until you graduate or when you're in your 30s. They probably won't be your friend. They probably will barely remember your name. So I wouldn't worry too much about absolutely keeping friendships right now. I'd just worry about making yourself happy and making sure that the people you surround yourself with aren't expecting too much from you and that they are actually there for you and actually care about your feelings. So, also I'm sitting in a really bad way. Okay. So yeah, honestly, probably most of your friends. I had friends in middle school that I am not friends with at all. Nowhere near friends with them. And that's just because of a change in opinion. It's because of things just not working out like they should have. And that's no one's fault. There's no one to blame for that. It's just the way that everything works out in the end. So, were they true friends at once? Possibly. Will they stay true friends until the end? No, obviously not. Will I possibly reconnect with them in the future? Maybe. You never know. But as for now, they're not. So, okay. Next question. One of my best friends who lives far away is going through a really tough time. She's feeling suicidal and depressed. What do I do? Okay, so a lot of you know from my suicide episode of Rosie's View that last year I had a lot going on, and I was really, like my sophomore year, I was really depressed, I was upset, and I was not in the best state of mind, and so I was actually suicidal. and that was because of my depression. And I had a friend who helped me through that. I had a friend who, even though she was thousands of miles away, and she has never, like, we've never met in person, she still was able to help me better than a lot of people that I actually knew and could trust. And that's just because she understood what I was going through, and she knew how to talk to me. She was a true friend. So what you need to do really is just talk to them and try to do your best to listen to what they're going through and try to understand. Don't necessarily say you understand, because sometimes that'll actually make people a bit angry if you say you understand, because they'll say, no, you don't understand the situation, you don't know what I'm going through. But you gotta try to sympathize and understand kind of where they're coming from. So I know that my friend, even though she was so far away, she lived in Canada, she still was able to save me. And the way she really did that was by telling me to take my mind off it. She told me to take my mind off things and find something else that made me happy, something to distract me. And that's how I found YouTube and Minecraft and all of that stuff. And it really got my mind off things, helped me focus on something, and helped make me happy, and eventually gave me the goal of helping other people too. And that's why I started my own YouTube channel. So honestly, what I would suggest to do to help your friend is I would just introduce her to something that you know she'd like and that you know would make her happy. Something that you know would be a nice distraction from what she's going through, and something that would really just help her out at the end of the day and make her feel better about herself. So that's what my biggest suggestion to you would be. So, I mean, I never know exactly what's gonna happen. Nobody knows exactly what's gonna happen in this world. But if you find something to make you happy, then odds are things are gonna get better. So, okay, done with that question. On to the next one. What do you do when your siblings copy everything you do / wear everything you do? Okay, so I have 3 older sisters. I don't have any younger siblings. I was always the one that was wearing the same exact clothing as my sister, or trying to be like my sister. But honestly, it wasn't me, it was my mom making me dress like that and making us match. So if it's not your parent though, and your sibling is just actually infatuated with trying to do what you do, I'd take that as a compliment, first off, because I mean, your sibling obviously admires you and wants to be cool like you. So that's a compliment if your sibling is trying to mimic your behavior. As long as you're not a bad influence, that's definitely something that you should worry about, is making sure that you don't do anything bad that they would want to mimic, because that's never a good thing. You do not want to be the cause of your siblings' irrational behavior. So next off, if you really are so concerned about your sibling copying you, what I would suggest you do is just talk to them and say, hey, do you want my help with anything? Maybe they are just confused and they're trying to figure out who they actually are, and they think that by being like you, they are figuring out who they are, which isn't always the case. And so you might just want to talk to them and see what they're thinking and what's exactly going through their head. So I know when I was a kid, everybody expected me to turn out like my sister. It was just kind of what everybody expected from me, was that I would become like my sister, I would do everything she did, I would join the choruses she joined, and all of that stuff. And so eventually I just kind of rebelled against that, and I did my own thing. I don't know how old you guys are. I don't know what's exactly going on in your lives that makes her want to find some solitude, but that's probably what's going on. And you just need to talk to her, and hey, maybe she just wants a makeover. If you want to help her figure out who she actually is or what she's trying to do with her life, then just do that. She doesn't always have to be like you, but just make sure that if she is copying you, that you're a good influence and that you don't do anything bad, because then your parents might actually get mad at you and frustrated. So, okay. Sorry if I didn't answer that question good enough. You can DM me and I will try to understand the situation better if you explain it more. So, I'm sorry. Okay, next question. How do I make friends in a new school? Okay, well, making friends in a new school. So, one really good way to do that is find something that interests you and join the club for it. That is honestly probably one of the best ways to make friends in a new school, is by joining the club for an activity that you know you enjoy and you know that other people enjoy, because then you can make friends that way. Just don't worry about what other people say about the club, like, oh, that's for geeks only. Well, too bad, because it makes you happy. So do that, and obviously you will find people that are going to make you happy. Now, don't try to be fake to fit into the popular crowd. Obviously try to be nice to people, but if you can feel that somebody is running the school, you're not going to find real friends that way. You're going to find some really bitchy people. So just try to not be necessarily rude to them, but don't make those people your friends, unless you're one of those people. But I don't think you are, based on whose Twitter account this is that sent me this question. I think you're like a really, really sweet person. So just, if you're shy and you don't really feel like saying anything, when the teachers ask you to speak up, say just something about yourself, and don't be afraid to be yourself, because honestly, being yourself is the best thing you can be. And honestly, that's about it for making friends in a new school. I haven't gone to a new school since I was in first grade. Halfway through first grade, I transferred to a different school. So I wouldn't have exactly know an update to this question, but when I first started high school, I made a lot of new friends, and by that, I just kind of made one friend that was a centralized friend and met people off of them. Met the people that they were friends with, because generally they're going to be the same type of person and like the same type of things. So if you make one friend who you know likes the things you do, odds are they're going to introduce you to other people who like the things that you do too. So that's probably the best way to do things. Okay, I think we're almost done here. One more question, possibly. If someone is going through a tough time, how do I cheer them up? Well, this person's Twitter account, let me just go ahead and say, you cheered me up just by reading like a couple of your tweets, and I was just like, oh my god, okay, you were like the sweetest person ever, and you literally just made me like smile a million times by reading your tweets. So I think you've got that down pat on how to make people happy if they're going through a tough time. But if none of that is helping, then I would just suggest just being there for them. Just sitting down with them and asking what's wrong, or not even that, just be their friend. Listen to what they're going through and just give them a hug. Make sure they understand that you're there for them and you're never gonna leave. So that's the best way I can think to keep friends and make sure that they are happy, and if they're going through a really tough time. Like, I recently went through a really tough time and disappeared from Twitter for a while, and that's because of family issues. Now, a lot of people probably won't be able to sympathize with what I was going through, because it's not a common thing. The family issue that I had, and I'm not gonna say it because it's something I feel like I should make public, but it's not a very common thing to happen. So not many people are going to be able to understand where I'm coming from, but the best thing that anybody could do is just sit there and hug me while I cried, or listen to me while I explained my thoughts on the situation and explained why I am not in the best place about it. So I would just, if you have a friend that's going through a really tough time, just listen. Just make sure that you listen to them and that you understand, because that's the best way to do anything in this world. So, okay, I think I'm almost done with the exterior, which will be good. Anyway, I'm done with my questions for today. There was one more question, but I don't know. Somebody just asked, how is one to be such a great YouTuber? And I personally do not feel like I'm a great YouTuber yet, though I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there. So I can't answer this question yet, but one day I will try to explain the process, and hopefully I can get to that day where I can feel confident about what I do and all of that stuff. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys like the new direction that Rosie's View is going in. Don't forget, I need more questions so I can do this again. I really enjoyed doing this, so it was nice. And I gotta finish this house, so there's that. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'm here for you, and I will see you guys all again next time. Also, do you guys like my summer skin? Because I think it's cute. I think it's really cute.